So get this straight here. We did a video at the very beginning of class that asked about our classroom philosophy, and what do you do in your classroom as far as digital and technological applications, and how do you use it? And when I first um, talked about it, I obviously I'm a technology teacher, and I use technology. So we use it every day in class, and I want the kids to understand what the technology is and how to use it. But where my outlook has changed since this classroom is really not just them using technology. We want the kids to be able to implement technology and be able to grow from what they've got. So most of the technology that I was using benefited me, even though it really benefited the kids, but it didn't benefit the kids outside of my classroom. And that's something that kind of hit me hard. I learned about it, that, using certain applications that the kids don't normally use, or the kids have rarely used to see how they can be used in their full capacity or even half of their capacity, is important. Stuff like Google Docs. I learned a lot about Google Docs this last month. Google Docs is a fantastic website or application that allows kids to store things in the cloud. They can operate things on their phone, on their computer, from any different place without having to bring it with them. It's right there. They can use it. We can use it for collaborative things where kids can work in groups outside. They can do group work and all collaborate on one living document and bring it to them, bring it to the table and turn it into you. And then you could maybe even correct it and send it right back out to them to see what they need to do. So for group work, it's great. Learning management systems, I use one already. I kind of had a little bit of a head start on that. So all of them are basically the same. They all do the same things. But what I did learn is there's other options and what the limitations of those other options are. So it was great. I'll always use learning management systems in my class. Teach others. So with our competencies, they're very specific what they want you to do, but what it helped me with is teach others. Don't just have the information and use it. I'm a very, as you can tell, a very extroverted person, so obviously I tell people about things too, but teach others to use things to make their life easier outside of your classroom, whether it's administration or it's your kids or it's groups in the school, or it is the parents. I mean, it's really become obvious to me that we need to teach our parents how to use these things, and then it helps us. We're teaching somebody else to make our life easier. So we do need to teach parents how to use these things, and then they can control what their kids do. They can monitor what their kids do, and it helps bail us out of the fact that the parents have access to the things without us having to phone call them in every way possible. Internet and web disorders was a big one. We talked about internet and web disorders this week. It's another part of the stewardship of the digital learning competencies, making sure that the kids understand how to appropriately and responsibly use all of these things, and the ones they're currently using, because they're all using a million of them right now, how to make them appropriately use them without hurting themselves or doing harm to themselves, or even being able to recognize the issues, and maybe even in your class syllabus, your online thing about yourself, you can include parents into showing them, here's what you need to look for with these disorders, so they can make sure that their kids are living a healthy internet lifestyle. And then the last part is integrate what you've learned and share what you've learned with others outside of your classroom and even into the administration, and make sure that we're constantly learning about the newest technology or the latest technology or a different technology or something that can make a kid learn in a different way. There's so many ways that kids can learn these days that we shouldn't let them be limited to pen and paper. We shouldn't let them be limited to one application. They should be able to learn in the way that they can learn. If we expose them to enough of these things, they come out a better student on the other end. So my philosophy has definitely changed. Obviously, it's not any different than using technology, but it's changed just with the way I want to spread the knowledge and wealth of knowledge that I'm learning and want to learn again. And obviously at the end, I've been doing this already, but just to continuously do professional development over and over and over again, every time I get a chance to learn something new, so I can be at the forefront instead of the person that's just right there running with the bulls. I want to be at the front of it because nobody wants a bull right behind their rear end. So that's what I would like to do. And that's what my philosophy is going to be moving forward. I've really enjoyed this class.